Hello. As I sit here today, I stop and I think, as a parent, we've reached a crossroad. We've reached a very important time. And I want to state something. And I want to state something that's very important. And I want you to listen. And please listen. Deep down in my heart, I want to share something. Something that I think is very important. And something that I think is necessary for each of us to understand. We are going to shape not only our generation and not only the generation of our children, but the generations yet to come beyond us. Not only our generation and our kids' generations, but the next several generations to come. You see, we're going to help to decide what's going to come for generations. And it's an impact of what we take and how we live out our faith. And what we look at and where we place our faith and desire for worship and a desire with a relationship with Jesus Christ. Where do we look at with our relationship with Jesus Christ? And what value do we place in worship? You see, what I see in our culture today is a 4-generation fade. And I think we're in a great deal of turmoil and a great deal of downfall. And if we don't make a change, a huge difficulty is coming. What do I see happening in our society today? I see this. Parents don't make church a high priority for their kids. And what happens then? Well, the kids grow up and make it less a priority for their kids. And then after that, those kids grow up and make it no priority for their kids. And then after that, what happens? Those kids grow up with no concept of God. And when we live in a society with no concept with God, priorities today impact generations and impact our country and impact the world. And God in the world and in our country, Christ is being removed from our society, from our country, from decisions being made. We need to bring Christ back into our country. We need to bring Christ back into our church. We need to bring Christ back into our morals, into our schools, into our communities. And how does that start? It starts by making Christ a priority in our lives. How does that start? It starts by us being willing to make a stand. It starts by me being willing to say, you know what, I'm going to put Christ first. As I sit here today, I realize there's areas of my life where I've not put Christ first. How about you? Are there areas where you've recognized where you've not put Christ first? And the great thing we can do with God is He's willing to say, okay, we'll start things fresh. We'll start things new. We can always give over to God and say, God, I'm willing to start over. We can reset. We can reset that button. And the great way to reset, let's reset today. Say to God, I'm ready to reset and get things back on track. Get things back where we put God back in the priority so that this generation becomes a generation that gets on fire for Christ. As we start, all things start new. Let's see that generation start anew. Let's start it with now. And let's move a generation, the next generation, moving forward for Christ. Until next time, God bless.